All right. Good morning once again. Can somebody remind us where we stopped last time? We stopped at the cybersecurity evolutions, right? Have we gone past that? I think we stopped at cybersecurity evolution. So what are the cybersecurity stages or the history? Can somebody recall any of them? We have not reached cybersecurity evolution. We have passed it because, okay, let's look at the screen. Let me walk us through the screen. So with that, we are actually still talking about the introduction of cybersecurity, right? So under the introduction, please let's look at the screen and confirm things together. Under the introduction to cybersecurity, we have looked at what the definition of cybersecurity, right? I just want us to be confirming as I move from one slide to another. We have also discussed the effective cybersecurity involves multiple layers, and we have discussed those layers, right? Such as what? The network layer, the application security, the data security, identity management, mobile security, cloud security. We have also discussed the importance of what? Cybersecurity. Am I correct? Okay. Now, what about cybersecurity evolution? Look at this topic. This is the topic I mentioned that said we have not. Okay. Now, remember I told us that this topic actually explain the history of what? The security of the world, the internet space, to let us know that there are stages that this so-called securing the cyberspace has spanned what? Over. And I told us that the cyber or the business of securing the cyberspace has spanned over how many stages? 3, right? The first stage is what? The legacy to what? Advanced. And then finally, where are we now? We are in what? AI what? Cybersecurity, which means we are in an era where we are using advanced artificial intelligence what? Technology to effect or implement the security of the internet space. Am I communicating? Now, remember that it is under explaining the different, was it, okay, I think we are done with this. The next topic was cybersecurity measures. I think it's under measure that I told us that we shall be looking at, yeah, this is a topic. This is a topic, cybersecurity what? Measures. And how do we summarize cybersecurity measures? We said that these are strategies, right? Processes and tools used to protect systems, network, and data from cyber threats, right? And we went further to explain that these measures aims to ensure what? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability of what? Information. Now, just to explain them, we started looking at the first category of what? These measures. What are the measures a cybersecurity expert can put in place to ensure that the networks are secure, the data are secure, and any of those other aspects that are our priority when it comes to protecting? We said that they can be classified into different measures. And the first one is what? Technical measure. And I told us that these aspects require technical skills. individuals that are not properly trained or professionally trained cannot actually put these measures in place. And I also told us that this will actually lead to the practical of this section, because after discussing some of these measures that falls under the technical measure, and I said that in the next class we are going to be exploring them practical wise, because it's not just for you to say or to define them. As an expert, you should know how to program them. For example, we mentioned firewall, right? And what we say is the responsibility of this measure. I said this measure monitor and control incoming and outgoing network traffic based on security rules. So which means that there are some settings that must have been put in place. These are the rules we are talking about, that we ensure that the firewall does its job 100%. And then to explain further, we talk about the antivirus and malware, right? And what we said is the duty of this particular measure. Detect and remove malicious software. So as a cybersecurity expert, what do we mean by malicious software? What do we mean by malicious software? Yeah, what? Who is speaking? They are software that causes harm, right? So we don't need to allow them to penetrate. That is what we are saying. We don't need to allow them to penetrate. So how do you stop them from gaining entrance to your system? By establishing measures like what? Measures like firewall and virus and antivirus. Which other thing again? By encrypting, right? What do we mean by encryption? No, I mentioned all this. Okay, good. To the hackers. Okay. So we discussed all that. So, and I told us that we also look at some of the key words, the key cybersecurity measures, right? Key cybersecurity measure. In fact, I said we are going to start from here in the next class, right? But before that, we want to go and look at how we can set up. Or did we cover all this? Okay. I think I can remember where we stopped. Good. Which is this one. I said, when we come back from the practical, good. We will now continue with the second measure, which was under organizational. But for now, we want to leave this particular slide and go and deal with how do we program the firewall? How do we, set up the antivirus? And how do we encrypt? So once we are done with all this practically, then we can now come back and continue with the organizational measures. So now let's go back to our Windows. Now remember that all these features that we are talking about, they are features embedded in your Microsoft window. How many of us are aware of that? And that is why I told us that the journey of cybersecurity start from understanding the Windows Security Plus. So what we mean by Windows Security Plus? Windows Security Plus are inbuilt security features or architecture programmed already within your Microsoft window. That is your operating system, to ensure that the operating system is secure. And I think I have explained to us why we need to start understanding the security of the Windows before we go into what? Ethical hacking. Because most people uses what? Computer devices to access what? The internet, isn't it? Now, please, as I am mentioning the word computer, that does not actually exclude phones. All of them, they are part of what? Computer. Because your phone also has what? An operating system, right? That is where the words or the word iOS come from. The word Android. They are just names of what? Operating system that are running on those devices called phones. Am I communicating? So each time I use the word computer, I am what? Grouping all of them. So the way you ensure the security of your window in your laptop, the same way you ensure the security of your what? The window in your phone. Most of these features are there. Are you telling me that your phone is not passworded? Hello? Is your phone passworded? Which means that what? The phone has a security measure put in place. As a matter of fact, most of the modern phone has 3 levels of password or protection system. Some you can use facial recognition, right? Some you can use fingerprint, right? Some you can use password. Am I communicating? And this practical that I'm taking us now encompasses, remember, the legacy. Because we said that under legacy, they use one of the major technology they used was password, right? And setting up user account. So before I get to the firewall, I want to start with user account as one of the measures that they were using in the era of the legacy. Because the legacy is the oldest, right? Is the oldest cybersecurity age. And if you can go back to your notes to recall some of the things we discussed there, we did mention that the legacy, one of the constraints they had was that attack have to be identified first before something can be done, before it can be prevented. In fact, there was nothing like preventive, because most of the ways they were more of reactive. Remember, instead of proactive. And if you are adopting a reactive method of securing or of system, it means that the attack must have happened before you now react. Am I communicating? But the invention of the AI technology, which you and I today are leveraging on, has been able to make it possible for us to identify attack or threats real time as it is happening, and be able to stop it. And remember, I threw a particular question on us that day, that what is the difference between the antivirus of then and the antivirus of now? What was the answer you gave? The antivirus of then does not have AI features, right? Was not intelligent enough, was not sensitive. That was the reason why they could not identify unknown threats, because they were not smart enough. That is what we are saying. So the same, don't be surprised, you still have Avast, and you have Avast then and now. The difference between the advanced then and now is that the incorporation of what AI tools that makes it more optimal. So what is the main practical? Now you can start writing. The first Windows security measure we want to look at is what? Users account. Right, users account. Users account. So you can write Windows users account. Windows what? Users what? Account. Now, what do we mean by Windows user account as one of the security measures or measure that you can put in place to checkmate what happened within what? The system. Who are the users? Let's start from there. Who are the users of computer? Who can we refer to as the users of computer? The operators, right? People who operate the computer. They are called what? Users. Now, when we say users account, we are talking about, right, a Windows user account definition first before we look at the practical step. And we need to understand why are we learning this as cybersecurity professionals. We are learning this user account because it's one of the way of ensuring the security of our system. Are we together? So we are not learning it like the general people that goes into computer for the first time that they be taught what? Windows. No. We are acknowledging it as one of the way or feature that enables us to establish what? Strong security system. So let's look at it again. I said a Windows user account is a profile, underline the keywords, profile, that allows a person, it's a profile that allows the person, are you with me? That allows a person to log into a computer, that allows a person to log into a computer with their own settings, underline with their own settings, with their own settings. Command files and permissions, underline setting with their own setting, underline files, underline permission. Can anybody tell us what we mean by permissions in the field of cybersecurity? Permissions. No one can access. Let me hear from Auntie. What do you mean by permissions? Your phone has permissions, right? Well, let me hear from you first. What do you think is permissions? Okay, you go ahead. Yes, that is the English words. That is the English meaning. But let's bring it to our field as technicians. Permission means what? Authorization. Are you with me? Authorization. So, which means that the user account is a cybersecurity measure put in place to ensure authorization. Who can have access to what within what? The system. Can we then say that it's actually a measure to secure things in our system? Yes. Look at this building that we are all in. Can you say that you can enter all the offices as a student? Can you? No. There are some offices you do not have the authorization to what? Access. So if for any reason you want to access those offices, what do you seek before you go? Seek what? Permission. Access. The word permission can also mean what? Access. So what are the characteristics? What are the key features of Windows user account? Number one is what? It allows you to own what? An account where you can control your settings, where you can control your file, and where you can determine who can what? Exploit them. Am I communicating? So that takes us to, let's look at some of the purpose, right? Purpose or aim. Why, as cybersecurity expert, why is it necessary for us to do what? To set up a user account. Number one, to keep personal files separate or secret. To keep personal file separate or what? Secret. To keep personal file separate or what? Secret. Am I communicating? That is one of what? The purpose. Please, I want us to learn this with full understanding. We are not training you on this topic because, or like the general users of computer, because if you register in a training called desktop publishing, which is like the beginner what class, where they define computer, sometimes they also teach them this user account, but they will not teach them with the mindset we are using to learn it now. What mindset are we using to learn it? We are using security what? Mindset. We are cybersecurity experts, and we want to understand what can we really achieve if you are employed tomorrow as a cybersecurity expert, and they give you 10 laptops in that office to ensure their security. And by the time you turn on the laptop, you discover that they do not have user account. Automatically, you do what? You set what? User account on those systems as a way of ensuring the security of what? That system. Am I communicating? And that is why I'm reading out these purposes so that we can understand them very well. So that is the first purpose. Number one. Number two, to control what users can do on a computer. So you can see it's still coming back to security. To control what user can do on a computer. For example, let's look at your personal laptop, your PC. If you password it, it's a way of telling me that I don't have access, right? You are actually restraining me from what? Opening app, right? Or watching the videos, or opening some files that you have in that system. Am I communicating? So the last one, which I want to, the last but not the least, improve security by limiting access. That is one of the purpose of what? Establishing user account. Improve security by limiting access. Improve security by limiting what? Access. So that is one of the what? The purpose of setting up a window what? User account. Any question to this level? So just in case you come across this video and you would like to reach out to the person instructing, you can dial or WhatsApp me on 070-6966-5919. Take the number again. You can contact me via WhatsApp 070-6966-5919. You can also visit our website at digitechz.com.ng to check it out. Okay, so now let's proceed with types of user account quickly. Let's look at some types of users account. Now, why it is very important for us as cybersecurity professionals to know the type of a user account we are setting up, because they do not have the same security what? Strengths. Hello. In an office, for example, in an office, we have computers that certain employees have access to, right? And we have some that some employees do not have access to. Can you give us an example? Director and the member of admin, they have certain systems that they are the only ones that can what? Exploit the resources and the software, the apps, the file in that system, right? So now, after discussing these types of user account, you will not know if you come into that office tomorrow as a cybersecurity professional and they say ensure the security of all the system so that you don't go and install the same type of user account across all the system, knowing there are different roles. So the role of a system determines the kind of account I am to install there to ensure its security. Am I communicating? So under the type, right, there are three major types of Windows users account. There are three major types of Windows users account. There are three major types of Windows users account. Number one, the administrative, or let's take it administrator account. Number one is administrator account. Number one is administrator account. Are we together? I want to see if I can explain some of this to us as I proceed with the class. So we are talking about user types of of Windows users account. Types of Windows users account. So number one, I said we have administrator account. So we are going to look at the definition. So what type of a window account we can refer to as an administrator account, right? Administrator account is the type of account that has the following attributes. Is the type of an account that has the following attributes. Number one, full control. Full control. Number one, full control over the system. Over the system. Full control over the system. Number two, can install software. So they have the right to install application. I'm still coming back to break this down for us because we really need to understand why we are setting up all this as cybersecurity professionals. And then they can also add or remove. They can also add or remove users. So let's quickly analyze these privileges. All right. Now, look at this. Let me sell this professional advice to you. I have a personal PC. I'm not working in an office. I have a personal PC and I have friends that I cannot deny access to my computer around me. You know, there are some friends that based on the level of help you have obtained from them, right? Or the level of your relationship, you cannot deny them. Just imagine, okay, they have an interview and they don't have laptop, or maybe something is wrong with their laptop. I say, please, Peter, please, can you quickly lend me your laptop? Let me quickly process a letter. Will you say because you want to ensure the security of your system, you will not give them? You will give them. What you do is this. You quickly go and set up the next type of account we are going to talk about, which is standard user account. That one does not give them access to do what? They not give them access for full control. That one does not give them access to install software. They cannot add, they cannot remove users. So you not give them that standard users login so that at the end of the day, story that touches the heart will not happen. So you are ensured that you can sleep and close your two eyes. Why? Because they cannot tamper with settings. They don't have the privilege because you did not give them access to what? Your account. Are we together? Or let's put it this way. Let me relate it to an office settings. Prosper, are you with us? Now, by the time you are employed, the office now starts, enlightening you that this computer is used by the director. This one is used by the employees. While this one is used by customers, for example. Which of these three systems, out of these three offices that I just mentioned, which one do you think will require installing or setting up an administrator account? The director, the employees, and the customer. The director, right? Because the director should have what? 100% what? Control. So let's look at the second type of user account. But once I'm done explaining them, we will now look at the practical steps on how to set them up. The second type is standard. Standard what? User account. Standard user account. Standard what? User what? Account. So how do we define standard user accounts? So standard user account is a limited account. So once you are setting up this kind of account, just put it or bear it at the back of your mind that the user of that account will be limited from what? Having access to probably settings of the system and even from accessing what? Certain file stored within the system. So let's look at the characteristics of this account. Number one, can use application and browser. Yes, this particular person is not limited to the usage of app. For example, if you have Microsoft Office app, the person can use the app. Are you with me? Then number two, cannot install software or change underlying major settings. So there are some settings he can change, but not what? Major setting. You have a question? Okay, I said cannot install software or change major setting. So this account is actually limited. So let's look at recommendation. Let's go back to the first one. Who are the people you should set up the administrator? Go back to where you wrote that one and add this. The administrator account is recommended for the admin, right? The admin users. Why this particular one, the standard user account, best for students, kids, and every user, or everyday use rather. I'm talking about the standard users account. It is best, its best use case is for what? Students, kids, and what? Everyday use. Computer that you know that somebody will use every day. Like if you go to the bank now, those people are the counter, right? What kind of account do you think will have been set up for them? User what? Account. Why those organs in the offices? They are the one that will be running what? Administrator what? Account. Now, most time I usually skip this third one because sometimes it's not useful, but let's just learn it for learning sake. The third one is, remember, I have listed out what the features of this one. The third one is guests account. Guest account. So this one is also a limited what? Account. A limited and also deprecated. limited, and also what? Deprecated, which means that what is fading out. Are you with me? It's fading out. Most windows, they are not giving room for it anymore. So how do we define this? Very limited access, and it is a temporary account, where maybe you forget your password as an administrator or as a standard user, and you needed to sort out something. You can just use the word, the temporary account, which is called what? The guest account. So that will now take us to the steps on how to set up. So you can now write steps by step on how to set up any of the above account, particularly the administrator and the standard. Step by steps on how to set up an administrator as what? Standard account. The same step I'm going to give to us. So looking at this, my computer now, if I am asked to set up either an administrator account or either an administrator account or user account, what are the steps I need to follow? In the first place, I need to check how many accounts do I have. If I want to check the number of accounts I have already in the system, you click on the start button, and then once it brings out, just hold on, I just want us to observe first. We'll still take the step later. Now, once it comes up like this, you will see the correct accounts. I believe you can be trying this also on your laptop. This is a side-by-side practical step. As I'm doing it, you are doing it, and you are also writing. Because we are not coming back. So you can see what name do you have on your own. Like mine is showing Eguero. What do you have in your own? This PC, because you have not given it what? A unique word name. You just purchase the laptop and start using it. So if a policeman apprehends you tomorrow night, you know that you cannot claim that that computer belongs to you. These are some of the implications. So after this class now, you are expected to what? To set it up properly. Let it be customized to your details. Now, if I click on this user icon like this, I am going to see the list of what? Accounts. So you can see that what? I have just one account. That is why I'm not seeing their list. So tap your own and see whether you can see the list of other accounts. Do you have any other account? No. Now, it means that I just wanted us to see what we have so that whether we are true, you will see what will have been what? Added. Now, step on how to set up either an what? Administrator account or what? Standard account. Step number 1, click on the start button and select setting. I hope you are writing. You write first and then demonstrate, please. Click on the start button and select settings. All right. So once you click on setting, so a window is going to open. So you can do that as well while I'm waiting for mine to open. So a window will open like this. Now from here, we are going towards account. Can you see account here? Can anybody see account? By your left hand side, you will see what? Accounts. Are you with me? You click on accounts. So once you click on account, let's wait to see what comes up. And then you have what? This, options. So all these options, they are used to manage what? Account. But right now, we want to create an account. So these steps is for us to manage the account that has been created. Well, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go this way so that will be faster for us. Now, you can also write that alternatively, now type control, go to control panel. Please write this. Alternatively, let's go this way. This way is faster. Alternatively, go to control panel. So how do you go to control panel? You search through the search bar, control. panel, and that will pop up that window. Control panel. So once you type control panel here, you should be able to, that will take us to the control panel. So you click on it. Now, I want us to know that the control panel is not a place where you go and tamper with things that you do not understand. This is just like the heart of the computer, the window. From here, a lot of things can be changed. Are you with me? So you must have an understanding of the feature you are exploring. So for control panel, you now click on user account. I hope you are implementing and also writing down your steps. Click on user account to see all the account management feature. To see all the account management features. To see all the account management features. Am I communicating? So now look up. Now, the command we are looking for is the one that says add account, because we are looking at how to create, right? So since we can't see it, I will click on this user account again. Why? Because I want to see the account that exists. So you can also use this step or this process to check the number of accounts that are currently running in your system. How many of them do you have there? Like mine, I have just one. Now, I want you to look at the features. What do you have here? So what type of an account is this? And what? Administrator account, right? Now, we are looking at how to create. Then I'll come back and show us how you can have an administrator account and change it to what? Standard account. You know why? Can anybody cite the reason why that could happen in an office? You have a system that was initially programmed as an administrator account. After some time, there is a need for you to switch that same system from an administrator account to standard. And I am asking, what kind of scenario can actually permit that?
Good. And they sack the person, right? And that system is now redeployed to what? An ordinary staff. So that ordinary staff cannot continue with what? With admin accounts. It's just like you are giving the person what? Total access. So you, as a cybersecurity expert, it is your duty to change the setting immediately. Now, you are not going to go through creating it again. You will just follow this step and do what? And change the type. Click on what? Change your what? Account type. And that will take you to this. Now, look at it here. How many options? Remember, I told us that what? I only mentioned the third one. But I said it's deprecating. That what? That one is fading out. We no longer have it. So how many of that do we have here now? Just two. Standard and what? And you can see the brief explanation. What did they say under administrator? Administrator have complete control over the PC. What's the meaning of PC? Personal what? Computer. They can change any setting and access all of the file and program stored on what? Now, let's read the one under standard. Standard account can use most software and change settings that do not affect other users. That's why the first definition I gave you say what? They can what? Change what? Setting, but not major settings, right? So long that setting is not going to affect what? Other users. So if I want to switch from administrator account to user account, what do I do here? I will just what? Click here, right? And then once I've clicked here, and then I will now what? Update. I'm trying to see if, can you try it from your end, whether your own is selecting? Is your own selecting? Huh? It's not selecting. Okay. So why a standard account? Let's say, let's expand this page, let's see. Or let's tab the account itself first. Hold on. I expected it to select. Where did we go to? Well, let me. We should be able to change this, except maybe, okay, my own, the window is not activated. You can see this option here. I don't know whether your own is like that. Once the window is not activated, you will not have the what? The priority to what? To do some of this setting. So, it's just because of time, I will have just shown us how to activate the window. Do I have a tool? It's a tool. You may not have it, but once the window is activated, this option should be what? Available. You can remind me in our next class, so that by then I will have activated so that I can show us. That's the reason why it's not going. So let's go back. Let's go back. Now, what is our aim? We want to create an account. Now, look up. What I am looking for is what? Add an account tab. So if I click on manage another account to see, and if I discover that even still with this, we are not able to add, then I have to be forced to create, to activate it. Now, look at it now. So click on manage another account. I hope you are writing that yourself. Click on manage another account in order to click to see what? Add a new user account. So this is actually what I'm looking for. So I can now click on it, and that brings us to where? Brings us to where we can select what? Look at it here. We have, is either you sign in, you create an account with Microsoft. If you want to set up an account, which is more secure, but it requires you having what? A Gmail account. So there are some persons that prefer setting up their user account with their email. So their email will become what? The login system, not the traditional name and password. And like I said, it's not secure, but it requires what? Email. So I will say, okay, no, other user. And then I'll select what? Add what? Account. So once you click on add account, let's wait to see the environment is going to give to us. So don't forget, we are doing all this to ensure that our system is secure, particularly to ensure that we give access to the right people. So it's loading. I believe your own must have opened, right? So just wait. I believe you are getting that message of window not activated. Okay, so let's just see. Now, look at the way my own open. I hope you are looking at the screen also, Mr. Prosper. So how will this person sign in? So if you still want to proceed with the email option, it means each time the person wants to sign into the computer, he or she will be asked to enter what? An email or what? Phone number. Now, but I am saying that I don't have this person sign-in information. So if I click here, it will now, avail an option where I can now what? Choose the option for local accounts. So now I have this option that says what? Add a user without what? Microsoft. So which means I'm considering the local account. Now it's asking me who is going to use this PC. So now if I'm setting up this in my personal laptop, I can say this one what? All user. I can just name it what? All what? User. So when I'm giving the computer to someone else to use, I will give them password to log into this one. But I will not give them login detail on my what? Administrator what? Or administrative account. So make it secure. So you add your password. So let's say my password is, help me to write it down in case I forget. It's Eloho123. So you can decide to see your password. If you want, repeat the same thing, Eloho123. Now, there is what we call what? In case you forget your password, there are questions you'll be asked for you to retrieve it, even your Gmail, right? You forget your Gmail. That is why some of us, when we are creating Gmail, we are not taking into consideration some of these questions or this data we are supplying. Because if you forget it and you try to retrieve it, they are going to ask us for this information. So I will answer a few questions. What was your first pet name? Put the answer here. Let's say what? Okay. Then we pick the next question. What is the name of the city where you were born? Let's say what? Oyede. Now, to pick the third question. What is the name of the city where your parents met? I don't think most children do not know this one. Most children do not know this one. Except they have told you the history, right? You will never know as a child because then you are not born. So let's just say, let's go with this. Or I can just assume, let's say what? Lagos. But if you are creating this account for yourself, please make sure you document all this somewhere. Now, you click on next. So account created. Now, let's quickly go back to, right, the next step now is how to switch accounts. That's the next step. So we are through with what? How to set up either a user account or what? Or an administrator what? Account. So now we are focusing on how to what? To switch what? User account. How do we switch user account? For example, you have an account, or let's say even you yourself, there are certain transactions that you do under what? Administrator account. The same system, and there are certain transactions you do under what? A standard account, which means that you have a user account on that same system together with what? An administrator. So when you want to work under administrator, you switch to what? Administrator account. That is why it is important for us to understand how to switch from one account to another. So right, to switch from one user account to another, click on the start button. Click on the start button and select setting. Click on the start button and select what? Settings. And select settings. Hope we are still together. Now look up here. Once you click there, in fact, let's go this way. I believe that is even a long process. So just click on the start and click on the user account logo. Or you can write or click on the start and select user account logo. So once you click on the user account logo, initially when we came here, were we seeing this option? What is this option? This is the account we just created. Am I communicating? This is the account we just created. So if I click here now, look at what is going to happen. The computer is being what? Installed. And all the, now you can see the two of them now. So when next you try to log in, you are going to see what? The list of what? The account you have. So you now choose. So this one is standard account. While this one is what? Administrator. So I'm going to standard account. What was the password? Log or what? 1, 2, 3. I'll check it here. Yes. So click on this. So right now it's logging me into the new account. And by the time it's open, you will notice that all those icons we are seeing on that previous back. So that is how you can set up a user account, and that is how you can change from one account to another. Do we have any question before we look at other associated settings? Do we have question? Okay, your question. Huh? Okay. Except if the person set up that email account. That is where the person can get notified via his or her email. All these accounts, they are local accounts that exist within the system. Are you with me? So they are not remote accounts. Okay, so let us go back to, let's look at, so what have we learned now? How to set up what? A user account, which could either be what? Standard or what? Or administrator, right? And then also how to switch from one to another, right? So let's look at how to delete the accounts. It's very important. Sometimes the reason why some computer could be so slow is because somebody must have loaded it to too many words, accounts. Or should in case the person that owns that account has left the company. Are you with me? So you as a cybersecurity expert, it becomes your duty to clean up the system. Those staff that have left, you remove all their password, you remove all their access. These are ways you'll be sure that even as they have left, they cannot break into the company system. In case you don't know, once they sack a staff in the bank, they change all their password. Particularly if it's the staff that was in the IT department. So how do we delete an account? To delete an account, remember that a user cannot delete what? Administrator. There must be one administrator account that exists that can be used to delete what? Other words, accounts. So in this case, I'll click, we'll go to the control panel again. I hope you're writing your step how to delete user account. Please be writing your step. Writing your step. So how to delete user accounts? You go back to the control panel. You go back to the control panel. Then you click on the same user and then select user account. All right. So I will now click on manage or change. I will now click on manage another account first so I can view the list of the accounts. Now I have two different accounts. So this is the one I want to delete. So now I've been able to view them. So I can now define which one I want to delete. So the next step is for you to tap the very one you want to delete. So if I want to delete this one, you tap on it. And once you tap on it, there are several editing feature command you can see. One of them is what we are looking at, which is what? Delete what? The account. Which other thing again do we have? You can change your password. So let's assume that you discover that somebody has monitored you when you are entering the password, being it admin or user, and you want to change it. So you follow the same step to do what? To change your password. Then you can change the account name also. And then you can also change the account type. We talk about the account type. So let me go again. You can see that, look at it here. It's possible now. Are you getting it? So now I can change it. Before it was created as what? Standard. So I can change it to what? To administrator. So it has now reflected what? Administrator account. So just to conclude our step, if I want to delete it, I click on it and then select what? Delete account. So the moment you are attempting to delete accounts, you have to answer these questions. Do you want to delete the account and delete the file? Or you want to keep the file and delete the account? If the previous staff that was using the system actually has some company information under his account, will you like to wipe everything off? No. Yes, we are removing the account. That account will no longer bear his name. But all the file that he must have computed should remain because the company wants to proceed with them. So, but what will happen? It will not create the person's name. That person's name will not appear as a folder name on your desktop. So whenever you want to access that person's file, you now go to that folder. For example, I keep the file. And then before I go ahead with what? Deleting the account. And then it asks me and I say what? Yes. So after deleting, I'll go to the desktop and show us the name of this person that has been deleted. So deleted. So if I go back to the desktop now, look up, can you see a folder name bearing that person's name? Can we see a folder bearing, look at it here, desktop, can you see it? Desktop, this is the name of that computer. What was the account name? All was user. Then if I open it, I should see what? The desktop. So if the person has saved some file on desktop before, then I will just go to desktop. Now it's telling me what? Empty. There was nothing in his own desktop. I'll go to documents. There was nothing. Remember that we have not created anything. You go to any of these, it will be empty because we just created it. At the same time, we are just removing it. Is that all? Sorry, is that clear? Good. Now, so in summary, we now know how to set up user accounts, know how to change the account type, and then know how to delete it and know how to assign the password. All these are measures under Windows security, right? They are measured under Windows security that ensure that the computer is secure, and it helps us to monitor who is or who accesses the system per time. That is one of the benefits of setting up what? This. Am I communicating? So let's go back to, now that we have set up this, let's go back to other security feature. Remember when we were talking about Windows security, we mentioned firewall, right? Did we? So let's look at what? Window firewall setup. Right, window firewall setup. Now that we are through with what? User account. Let's look at Windows what? Firewall setup. We talk about window firewall, we talk about encryption, we talk about antivirus as technical what? Measures, right? That can be put in place to ensure the security of our Windows. So let's start with the firewall. How do we define firewall? To avoid wasting our time, let me recap again. I told us then that a firewall is a security system that monitors and controls incoming and outgoing what? Network traffic based on what? Rules. So it acts as a gatekeeper. Add this note to where you are now. It acts as a gatekeeper between your computer and the internet. It acts as a gatekeeper between your computer and what? The internet. So we are still talking about the Windows firewall. Windows what? Firewall. Come in. window firewall. So let's look at the purpose. Let's just highlight some purpose. You can take it again because the focus here is the practical. So even if you redefine it, there's no problem. So let's look at the purpose of window firewall to enhance concrete understanding. Number one, block. So why is it necessary for the cybersecurity expert to prioritize the setup of the window firewall as one of the technical cybersecurity measures? Number one is to block what? Unauthorized what? Access. So any computer that accesses the internet often, please, that computer what? Window firewall must be properly what? Set. And you have a lot of persons in the society today that they cannot do without visiting the internet. And if you ask them now, there is no security measure in place, and they are busy exploring the internet 24 hours. So their computers are very exposed to attack. And that is why you have to enlighten them as an expert from entry your system. From entering your system. To number three, the firewall controls which app can access the internet. All right. So under the types of firewall, let me just brief us on this. Types of firewalls. Types of firewall, we have number one, which is a hardware firewall. We have number two, software. We have software firewall. So what do you think the focus of the hardware firewall is going to be on what? The router. Who can tell us what is called router? Why the focus on this one is going to be installed on your PC. That is those software, you understand? So let's quickly look at steps by steps on how to turn on the firewall, because all you need to ensure as a cyber security expert is to ensure that what? The firewall is active. Is to ensure that the firewall is active. So how do I ensure that the firewall is active? That is the first thing you need to ensure. Because we just mentioned now that if it is active, what is it going to ensure it? It's going to ensure that what? It monitors everything that comes into the system and everything that goes out of the system. Are you with me? So if it is not on, can it do that? So that is why our first responsibility when we are given the system is to what? To turn it on. Sorry. Yeah, good morning. So I said our responsibility is to turn it on, right? To turn it on and to update the system. That is why after this step now, the next step will be on how do we update this feature? What do we mean by updating a software? Can somebody tell us? To update a feature or a software, what does that mean? Is to keep it up to date, right? And when we say a software is outdated, what does that mean? It's out of support. It is out of what? Support. When Microsoft Windows Cloud can no longer reach out to it. And if it cannot, then it cannot ensure that what it uses that feature to protect your system. So that is why our responsibility is to what? To make sure that these settings are in order and they are also what? Updated. So a cybersecurity expert should know how to update his own system. So let's just conclude the step of how to turn it on first. So number one, click on Start menu. How do I turn off my window firewall that ensure the security of outgoing and incoming? Then go to Control Panel. Go to Control Panel. So let me just search it out. Go to Control Panel. That's your next step. So from Control Panel, select System and Security. Are you with me? Now, let me expose us to this. Look up. Your Control Panel features can be summarized differently. Right now, we are viewing them with what? Category. Pay attention to this, very important. Because the option I just gave you now is what? Is this. Right? So you can easily see System and Security. But if I change the view from category to what? Small icon, you see that what? You have to start looking for what? The system itself. So you can view your Control Panel feature either by category or by what? Large icon or by what? Small icon. So if I click here, this one is going to give me a group, a summary. So I should know under which of this group I can access the feature I'm looking for. So for example, we are looking at what? We are looking at what? System. So I'll click on what? System and Security. System and Security. So under this, there are a lot of features, including the ones like our next class now. I'm going to come to what? BitLocker. That is a class on its own. One of the modern technology. Look at this here. If I open my file now, if I go to this PC, you see that this one has key, right? So that is BitLocker. So that is going to be our focus next class. It's still part of technical measure, which falls under what? The age we are today. You can't see this in legacy. Because what I'm trying to do now is that those different security stages that we have explained, we are looking at the practical aspect of them. Okay, let's look at how can we deploy this technology. Because you are not going to be sitting down. Your work is to sit in front of those systems and begin to do something. Exploit this thing. This is how you show that you are a security expert. You are using the tools available, both the internal tools and the external tools, to ensure that the data in that system, this network, and those we mentioned are secure. So from here, what are we looking for? Remember, we are looking at firewall, right? Now, can we see this option that says what? Window Defender Firewall. So that window defender, that defender that has been added has explained it all. What is the work of a defender? Is to stop things from coming in, things that are suspicious, information that cannot be verified. So the moment you go to internet now and you start downloading, the firewall is checking that website. And if it sees a particular, maybe spyware or malware within that software or content you are downloading, it will allow you to block it. That's why it's very dangerous. You don't set up firewall and you don't have antivirus on your system. Some people are just taking risk. They don't have antivirus. They have not set up this manually. So let's open it up and see what we have there. So click on what? Window Defender / what? Firewall. Write your step because the young man need to write your notes. And I'm recording the video. And please, just in case you don't know, let me give you this advice. If you miss my class, this video now is going to buy it. It's not free. Because I'm using data to do what? Record it. And I'm going to upload it to my YouTube page with what? Data. So if you miss class, because he called me that he's not going to make it, that's okay, let me record it today. Because he wanted me to pause the class, whether we should shift the class. No, it doesn't work that way. So from here, look at the features we have here. Look at this here. So where do you think, what are we looking at? How to turn it on and turn it off, right? So let's assume that the client system you want to ensure is security. You don't know whether it's turned on or not, or on. So you follow this step. When you get here, click on what? Turn what? Turn what? Window Defender Firewall on or what? Off. So which means that this same tab gives you access to do what? To turn it on and to also what? Turn it off. So let me click on it. Now, look up here. Look up. There is something I need to explain to us here. This firewall, monitor your system when it's on internet. That is what? Public what? Network. Also, when the computer is within what? Intranet. What is intranet? Can anybody tell us the difference between intranet and internet? Outside and inside. Outside and inside. Like here now, if I network, if you go to Cyber Cafe or some printing press, they network their computer, not on the internet, right? You can give them a work to print on one system. They will send it to their printing, room. That is what, which means that same process, virus can attack. So you can turn off firewall for public network separately from what? Private network. So which means that I can come here and say turn off. So what firewall have I turned off now? The one that monitor what? The public items that are coming from the public domain and items that are going from my system to what? That's a what? Public what? Domain. So those are the ones it monitors. Then you can turn off this. Please, it's very dangerous. Let's assume that as you want to resume your work, as you are assessing the security level of all the system, you now discover that what? This is how it is. The previous person has turned off all this. What do? You turn them on. You turn them on. That is all. Now, it can be, if you click here now, you can turn this on and say categorically that block all incoming what? Connection. This one, not until they are suspected. That is what? You are shutting this system from anything coming in. Are you with me? So you can leave it unchecked, which means that what? It should not block them by default. It should only block when it what? It suspects. And you have already programmed a notification here. That's the what? Notify me when Windows Defender what? Block a new app. That is why when we try installing software, there will always be a security alert where it cannot verify the vendor. How many of us have tried downloading something and then you see security alert that say, well, yes or no? How many of us have experienced it? Wow, you have not seen it. If you try downloading something that cannot be verified now, Windows will alert you just because the Windows Security Defender is on. And then you are the one that will say, yes, permit it before it will proceed with the installation. So this is how to set up your Windows secure, to set up what? Your Windows firewall, right? To turn it off and to do what? To turn it on. So let's take one more thing, right? How to update Windows security features, right? How to update Windows security features. How to update Windows security feature. So I will just enter it and then stop there. In our next class, we will continue from there. How to update Windows security feature. So that is also what is window updates. Are you with me? What do we mean by window updates? So we need to understand this as cybersecurity professional or practitioner. Right. Window update is a feature in Microsoft Windows. Window update is a feature in what? Microsoft Windows that automatically download, underline that word, that automatically download, that what? Automatically download, are you with me? That automatically download and install updates. Update means what? Patches, as a P-A-T-C-H, patch, which means that what? Just like when they say road is spoiled and they patch it, you understand? Which means they are filling the gap. Are you with me? So maybe that particular feature is not up to date, so you are patching it so that it can be up to date. Sometimes when you go for an interview, they can use the word, can you patch window feature? That is the same as what? Can you update what? Window what? Feature. Exactly. So where did I stop? I said what? An install update to keep your computer secure. Are you writing? To keep your computer secure. To keep your computer what? Secure. To keep your computer what? Secure. Comma, stable. Because these are the vulnerability the bad boys take advantage of. Once system is not updated, they can launch the attack and the attack will go through. But if the firewall is up to date, it will be repelling towards the attack. Sometimes they look at some people that do not update their system and launch their what? Their exploits. Conclusion of it, and up to date, comma, after stable, right, and up to date, and up to date. So you write, note, the built-in service is called window update. So from your Microsoft window, it has already been programmed. It's already built in. And that is what we are calling the Microsoft what? Windows update. I said the built-in service is called Windows update. The built-in service is called Windows update. So let's quickly look at the purpose of Windows update. Purpose of Windows update. Why do we update our Windows? Purpose of Windows what? Updates. Number one purpose is what? To fix bugs and system errors. To fix bugs and system errors. To fix what? Bugs and system what? Errors. Number two, improve performance. Sometimes you see some of us, this is what we, the professionals, sometimes we use to take money from clients. I'm a system engineer outside being a cybersecurity professional. And that is one of the edge that I have that is making me to explain all this fluently. Because even in system engineering, we use all this. Because we repair, right? Engineer does what? They repair. One of the ways they are going to repair is to ensure that what? Virus does not what? Attack the system. One of the ways to ensure that what? The system is secure. So that is one of the areas I understand all these things from. So when we say performance, some of them, they will come to us that my system is very slow. It's very slow. I'm not telling you how they used to come. Maybe you too, you come one of these days like that. You say, my system is very slow. Then I will not check your RAM, check the processor. Everything is high. And yet it's slow. You know what I would suggest? I would say virus has affected what? The system. And sometime, by the time I check, when I want to do the job, I will start by updating the window first. And that might solve the problem. Now, when you have a patch, when you have a feature that is outdated, instead of encouraging the system, it was fighting what other things in the system. That is why you are experiencing that slowness. Are you getting the logic now? What's supposed to be working is not working. Now, instead of you to remove it, it's just there. That is why it's very dangerous you have an expire antivirus in your system. Once it expires and you don't have money to renew it, remove it. Because the next thing it will start doing now, it will start what? Causing the system to malfunction. So it improves what? Performance. The next step is what? The next reason or purpose is what? Add new features, right? Add window updates allow you to add what? New features. Add new features. So the next one is protect your computer from security threats. It protects your computer from security threats. So I think so that the young man will not miss anything, I'm going to take the practical aspect to the next class. Because time is almost up. I don't think the remaining time will not allow up. But let me just list out the type. Right, types of Windows update, types of updates, so that you know, okay, what kind of updates you are supposed to engage on as a cybersecurity to ensure that the system is what? Secure. Types of what? Update. Number one, we have security updates. Just to explain that one briefly, it means to protect against viruses and hackers. It means to protect against viruses and what? Hackers. That is the meaning of what? Security update. So the next one is features update. Features update. The next one is features update. Features update. And what is this type of update? Add new tools and improvements. Add new tools and improvements. The next one is driver updates. This is one that normally causes a lot of problems. So person will say, my mouse pad is no longer moving. My keyboard, one button is pressing down, the cursor is running on the screen. All these can be attributed to what? Driver. Are you with me? So right under driver updates, improve hardware performance, e.g. sound. Some of us, all of a sudden, your computer, your laptop speaker stop working, and you want to watch YouTube video, and the sound is not coming out. You go and run what? Driver update. That can solve the problem. These are the things the engineers know. So when you take your laptop to them, they run these updates. It's not everything that requires changing the hardware. Some of them is just software updates, and the problem is solved. Then the last one is what? Quality updates. Quality updates. And this one takes care of fixing bugs and improving system stability. This one takes care of fixing bugs and what? System stability. So write it in your notes so that I will know where to start from the next class, step by step on how to update Windows. That is what we'll look at in the next class. Write the topic down, step by step on how to update window features. All the various types of updates we have spoken about, we will look at them. All right, so my name is Egwelu Prosper, an IT instructor from GTZ Hub. So in case you want to reach out to me, we organize training online. You can join our training on data analytics, cybersecurity, AutoCAD, digital marketing from anywhere, and our classes are organized live via Zoom. So you want to reach out to me, just WhatsApp me or call me on this number. +2347069665919. So see you next time. You can also visit my YouTube page at DigiTech Seal Hub. You can visit my YouTube page at DigiTech Seal Hub. We have over 460 video recorded of different classes you can access on our YouTube. So go there and continue to advance your test skill. Thank you for watching.